Hi Team Space! Welcome to my first spaceflight simulator tutorial here on my YouTube channel. Since it has become very difficult to reuse a spacecraft in SFS, I was trying to develop a new kind of spacecraft that would be capable of re-entering Earth's atmosphere without using any cheese. In this attempt, I tried to land in Orbital with engines that would in theory be capable of lighting again after landing. In order to prepare the vehicle for an orbital test, I had to test its landing capability first. So in this suborbital test flight, I lifted the spacecraft to an altitude that provides enough gravitational potential for the orbiter to gain a sufficient velocity. So the orbiter lifted up from the launch pad and ascended to an altitude of around 5 km before shutting down its engines and turning to its side. The suborbital trajectory with an apogee of more than 5 km led the spacecraft a bit away from the launch pad. By using the staging menu, I could initiate a landing sequence in order to flip the vehicle into a vertical orientation and lighting its engines back up to land softly back on the planet. Frankly, I didn't make it in the first try. Either I flipped the orbiter into a poor altitude by shutting down its maneuvering engines at the wrong point in time, or I initiated the landing sequence too late, resulting in the loss of the vehicle. As the suborbital test flight was successful, I could now proceed to the orbital test flight that would include a fiery re-entry into Earth's atmosphere. I designed a nose-first re-entry and therefore placed heat shields at the top of the orbiter. After the orbiter lifted up from the launch pad, I went for orbit with this as a STO. I could reach a very low Earth orbit with an apogee of around 38 km and a perigee of 30.7 km. I had enough propellant left for a de-orbit and landing burn. After I reached a orbital velocity, I performed a retrograde burn for a short time until the perigee hit around 21 km above the surface of the Earth. spacecraft came in hot with a max temperature of around 6000 degrees Celsius. I initiated the landing sequence like in the previous test and touched down safely. For this test I also needed a few attempts to return the orbiter safely.